All right, you guys, it's a money day. It's a money day. We're gonna work on making some money. Who's excited about that? Hopefully you say me on that one. I'm gonna actually stream. Hold on. I'm gonna do a little stream. Okay, so yesterday we let me see. Thank you for bearing with me. Okay. They're all laughing out there, by the way. I'm glad they're all working so hard, just saying. Okay, let me see here. Okay, pop this on like that. Perfect. Let's go. Okay, you guys ready to get going? I know you're already going, so I just wanted to turn on Instagram. Okay, so today's money day, and I still have no idea how to use my board, so just FYI, we're gonna bear with me on this one, but I am getting better at it. It does have a little possession going on, it just starts to do different colors, but I'm getting better at it. So today's money day, and I want to tell you that I want you to sell and, let me do it like this. Sell an emotion. Do not sell a product, okay? And I'm gonna explain what that means and essentially what I think that you should be looking at inside your business as you are building your business. Yesterday, we talked, what did we talk about yesterday, y'all? What did we talk about yesterday? Who was on yesterday? I wanna know who was on yesterday. Instagram, yesterday's is posted on my last post, right? What were we talking about yesterday? We were talking about a through line, right? Why do some people build businesses that create engagement, AKA high sales volume, and why do others not, right? And that comes down to yesterday's training around your through line. It's really important. When I say the word engagement, like, I don't mean like my Instagram engagement, by the way. That's not what I mean, because I can't take my followers to the bank. I mean the 300 plus whatever people, 400 people on the other Zoom line that my team is actually working with, helping them build email lists and text message lists and buyers lists and all of that. That's an engaged buyers list. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, that's, you know, we just have a client recently that had 500 buyers come through a text message campaign. If you don't know how to do that stuff, you got a problem, but you can know how to do it and have the wrong through line to your business and your message, and nobody comes, right? And I'll teach my strategies, and we'll get this result, and some people will get this result with me, and other ones will get an average result, and other people will get a horrible result with the same strategies. How's that possible? Your through line. It really comes down to your leadership and how you see things. How you see things is how you articulate things. How you articulate things will tell somebody, are you their person to buy from? Does that make sense? Yes? So today we're going to talk about sell an emotion, not a product. And this, I'm clear, I'm going to talk about it, but I'm very, very clear that, that some people are going to hear me and some people are going to continue to sell the product. So let me ask you a question. What is it that you sell? Go in the chat right now. What is it that you sell? It's a great opportunity to really promote your company. What is it that you sell? Go in the chat. What exactly do you sell? Go in the chat and tell me exactly what you sell. You guys on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, right? You guys have a great opportunity. You can promote your business, not by dropping a link in my thread, but don't miss the opportunity to literally talk about what it is that you do. What is it that you sell? You know, what is it that you sell, right? So service, myself, savvy, event, wellness and coaching, community coaching, service. I'm a loan signing agent, everything notary, product. Zach,
Can I have my iPad?
No.
But I earned it back.
No, 2 more days.
2 more days? But
Sorry, 1 more day, sorry, 1 more. If you come back in here, 2 more days. Okay, so that's me being a mommy. And so, Ash is like, so, okay, so I own a barber shop, Hope and Possibility, Okay, so now what I want you to do is to all go through the chat. And you guys who said savvy, that's product, right? You guys who said I own a barber shop, that's a service, right? Legal Shield, that's product, right? And a service. By the way, I helped Jackie Cote and her husband used to coach with me. And if it wasn't for their list, they took her list that we helped her build and did webinars. And in those webinars, they enrolled people in Legal Shield, which is network marketing. And they went up in income, big time. Literally, we're training this right now in the other room. How many of you guys need to have a list? Put list in the chat right now. How many of you guys need to have a list? Put list in the chat right now. Seriously. How many of you guys need to have a list? Put list in the chat right now. My question is, why aren't you over there? Right? Why aren't you over there? I'm going to hook you up right now. Yeah, I think you need to leave me. Okay, I'm going to hook you up right now. Go to, here, I got to tell my team this, but go here. Sorry, Instagram, I'm putting it over here. Okay, if you do not have an email list, you need to go there right now. I don't know why that didn't hyperlink. Do you have a hyperlink of that?
Yeah, I'm good right now.
You guys need to go over there right now. I'm not joking. And then text message Gome and tell them to get a text out to them right away to give them the dashboard.
Okay.
Okay, so you need to go over there. I'm not kidding you. If you don't grow a list, you're gonna have problems. So I just was sharing, like, somebody said Legal Shield is their product. I want you to sell an emotion, not a product. I'm like, we showed your top producers how to build a list, how to do a very good webinar. From that webinar, enroll in the network marketing company. And they went to the top of Legal Shield, and they did it very, very quickly. In fact, she ended up closing down her other business because she made so much money in network marketing. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? She loves it. She's been able to have a couple babies and have the income not go down. Does that make sense? Yes? Yes, 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 yes. So if you need that, go click on yourguestspot.com. Go click on that. Go over there. Leave me. You go watch the replay later. Get out of here. Go literally build your list. Be freaking smart. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay? And so, okay, so here is where we are. I want to make sure that. Okay. So you guys, if you don't have a list, it's kind of a waste of time for you because you got nowhere to go. You got what are you gonna do? Learn more stuff with no people? You know what I mean? Like it makes absolutely no sense, like to keep studying business and not have an audience. And I don't mean a social media audience. I mean a list that you can actually go out to, okay? So that being said, I want you to sell emotion on a product. What does that mean? Okay, I talked a little bit about through line yesterday, but there is an emotional state with success. Actually, I'm gonna start with failure. With struggle, and there is an emotional state with success. Freedom, right? With freedom. Can we agree upon that? There's an emotional state, you have an emotional response or state when you're struggling. And there, hold on, Darlene's asking where do we go? Did you register yourguestspot.com, Denise? Lisa, did you not get the text or email to go to the other room? No, okay. You know what, just put the dashboard so they can just go into the training room.
Okay.
He's gonna drop the dashboard. For you guys who need to go to list building right now, whatever, just go. There, he gave you hardcorebusiness.live. Okay, just go there right now. Like, get out of here. Like, you need to get over there. Okay, because everything falls apart without the list. You gotta go do it. You're welcome. Yep, the link above. Use that link above, okay? Okay, so there's an emotional state with struggle. There's an emotional state with success. Okay, you feel a certain way. This is what I mean by sell a feeling. Sell a feeling. Do not sell a product. Because you know how many people come to me and say, Shannon, can you coach me? Can you coach me? Can you coach me? I'm like, yes, what are we doing? Like, well, I got a coaching program that people come and coach with me for 6 months and then I work with them 2 hours a month. Like that's selling a product. It tells me absolutely nothing about anything I can do to help you sell it. Because can I tell a product description? Your product descriptions are not so different than everybody else in your industry, even though you might think they are. They're not so different than everybody else in your industry. And so we can't see you, and neither can your audience. They can't see you. Does that make sense, you guys? They can't see you. And so in order for people to see you, they need to see your heart. They need to see how you see them. They need to actually see like what you see. And so what you see when you look at someone, do you look at, and this could be could be an ouch moment. Who's married right now? Put an M in the chat if you're married. Who's married right now? Put an M in the chat if you're married. Okay, so now, vulnerable moment here. Do you always see the person you're married with as, oh, look at this, I can already see Leah going this. She's like, I already know where you're going. Do you always see them as the most incredible human being on the planet that never does anything wrong and never has to change anything? No, you don't. Not if you're human. If you're human and honest at the same time, you look at the person you're married with and you can notice some things that need to shift or change, right? And they can notice it about you. Now that goes for dating, it goes for customers, clients, people that you're working with. You look at them and you either notice what's working about them or what's not working about them. They're both valuable. They're both valuable. You need to know what's not working about them. That goes into yesterday. When I talked about yesterday, you guys on Instagram, yesterday's training is literally on my Instagram page. Okay, it's the last post, so go watch it. So this is the pink elephant that I talked about yesterday. Okay, you have to be accurate on this. This is empathy. This is empathy. So some of you guys who don't like to be vulnerable, or you got an empathy problem and you got to fix it. Okay, and I'll tell you how to fix it right now. Do you want to know how to fix an intimacy problem? You want to know how to fix an intimacy? You better put yes if you want to know how to fix an intimacy problem. Okay, if you want to fix an intimacy problem, you must slow down. Now that's opposite of everything I say around my love speed, right? But it's like, yeah, but you have got to get intimacy. That's where empathy comes from. Otherwise, you run past people and you don't really know how they feel. You might have a judgment on what they need to change, whatever, but it's not deep enough for a financial burst to happen. If you want cash injections and things like that to happen, how many guys, if I said, and I'm not doing this, but how many guys, if I said, how many guys, if I said, for $10,000, I'll spend a day with you and design the next 2 years of your business. I'll figure out your messaging, I'll figure out your marketing plan, and I'll literally dial all your pricing, everything into you, and exactly your productivity and what to focus on each month. How many guys would take that $10,000 deal? Put 10 in the chat. Put 10 in the chat. Okay? Put 10 in the chat if you take me up on that VIP day, essentially, or that day. Okay, so now watch what changes. Okay, you got to be honest. Like, if I call you and you say you're not investing 10, right? I'll be like, you just liar. You can't lie. You got to be honest. Otherwise, this doesn't work. Okay, how many guys, you'd still be in the game. You feel like if you spent a day with me, you could make 20 grand. Like you could make 20 grand. So you would be willing, because you still know, you know you'd get your money back and then so you'd be willing to do 20. Put 20 in the chat. Yes, to Ben, still, like, I'm still a yes. It's because you've done them and you've made money, right? So would you do 20? Put 20 in the chat. Okay, so there is a tap out somewhere. And that tap out somewhere comes when we believe that we won't execute anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like the risk just went up and self-doubt and insecurity kicks in. When that self-doubt and insecurity, so who would go to 60,000? Who go to 60,000? Go to 60. Who goes to 60? Don't worry, I'm not calling you, but I want honesty. The chat stops. Oh, a couple of you guys. A couple of you guys will go to 60, right? But not many, right? And so, Esteban's like, that is true, 1% is 60,000. So to coach with me privately with a group, it is $60,000. So he's like 1% club, I'm in. So he just happens to know our ecosystem, so he knows that. But, and you have done VIP days and succeeded. So you have context, but notice the chat slowed down, right? And so there's the essence of, if you want to raise up more urgency, you have to have empathy around what's not working. And the deeper this goes, this was all yesterday's training, so I'm not gonna go deeper into it, but this kind of backs up what I was talking about yesterday. I am not teaching you fluff on this. I'm really teaching you what it's gonna take for 2024 to be everything you want it to be, and then some, okay? So this little puppy, you need to, the deeper you go on what's not working, and the more empathetic, so heartfelt you are. And I don't mean airy-fairy. I don't mean like heartfelt, like you don't want to step on any toes and you don't want to hurt them. Like when I say empathy, it's like, you know that if, like, you've got urgency, you got hustle in this, because you know if you don't step in, and then somebody doesn't have to be in an addiction or in like, but it's like you can see how by not having confidence, they're never going to get up on that stage, or they're never going to become a preacher, or they're never going to, you get what I'm saying? Like, and you actually empathetically, you're like, holy crap, they're going to miss their whole purpose in life. Like, that's big. Can we agree with that? Like, that's big, guys. And so that's the type of empathy that I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the fear-based empathy. I'm looking for, and that works, fear-based empathy works, but I mean, if you want people to like just, you have to speak unlike anybody else in your industry. And that's not about having the perfectly crafted talk. It actually is more about the perfectly, or the deepest empathy that you can see in someone. Does that make sense? And then it starts to shift. So I'm gonna move from the big elephant not working, and I'm gonna go to what's working. And we're talking about sales. Okay, so I'm telling you, I can literally, I was just talking about this morning, you know, every problem you run into, there's an opportunity for an innovation, and most people back off the problem. Does that make sense? Like, it's like, oh, it didn't work. Like, I sent an email and it didn't work. That's a lack of urgency, right? It's like, you're really gonna settle for that? I did a webinar, nobody showed up. That's a lack of urgency. It didn't work. That's a lot. It's actually in what's not working in a sales conversation, a sales campaign, an event, a marriage, wherever you're working. It's in the not working stage that innovates something incredibly unique in your business. Are you guys follow me? But yes, if you are, right? And so you want to know what's working for them and what's not working for them. This provides inspiration because they know that you see them. And when you speak, if I'm talking to one of you guys and I see you and I speak into like Natasha, right? And when I look at Natasha, I'm like, I see a woman of great courage. I see someone who is a world changer. I see someone who, when I look at you, I see someone who a lot of women especially can follow, because your heart is so big that literally everyone is safe with you. So she knows that that is real. Does that make sense? Like, I know you have like Esther-like power. You know what I mean? Like you're like, I'm not moving. Like, let's go. Right? And you've got that in you. You like, and that makes it really safe for people to be with you, right? Because there's so many people in the world that are just pushovers, and they fold in the sense of pressure and failure and, you know, and challenges, and you don't. You just keep stepping up, stepping up, stepping up, stepping up, which is our whole theme for March, is around step up, Step up to your womanhood, step up to your manhood, step up to your business, step up to your millions, step up to your courage, step up and be a husband, step up and be a wife, step up and be a parent, step up and own, politics, step up and make a difference in your community, step up! Right? And the reason why is because we need to be inspired to play at that bigger level. And if we all do it, what's going to happen is we're going to create momentum up. Does that make sense? So there's a theme next month around this. You guys getting this? So, but the thing is if you can't find what we talked about yesterday, what's not working in the deepest level possible, and notice what's working, you won't have the heart to lead it. You guys, people are so beat up out there that they don't need another person telling them what's not right with them. They need you to take what's not right with them and they need you to put it out here and show, like, this is where you want to go and this is what's getting in the way. Not you're getting in the way, you're the problem, not any of that. People are tired of that. That is old marketing. The marketing worked at one point in time, but like anything, everything needs to evolve. So I'm telling you, as you're building your business right now, and you're getting into sales, I'm gonna ask you to think about somebody right now in your life that you're trying to sell them something. It could be a customer, a client, a patient, maybe you're a doctor and you know that this patient of yours must eat differently so that they can clear themselves of cancer or they can stop themselves from getting diabetes or whatever, right? They get pregnant, whatever it is. Like, do you have the level of step up to be able to step up to them and have a sales conversation, which really is a leadership conversation, and help lead them to the destiny that they want? See, we all say we want something, but the thing is that we often lack courage. And we lack courage because we don't track. And if you don't track what you do on a daily basis, then what happens is you are disconnected. If the devil can get you disconnected from your purpose, from your point, from your destiny, then guess what? You're going to waste a lot of time. Then you wake up and you're like, holy crap, I forgot what I want. I'm so far away from what I want, I don't even know what I want anymore. I'm telling you, it's a call to action today to come back to figure out what is it that you want. In order to figure out what they want, a lot of times you need to understand that many of your customers and clients don't know what they want. That's why people have a hard time messaging. Because it takes a lot of courage to message, because it literally says that you're going to take a stand for something. Is this making sense? And so now when you get into a sales conversation, all that shit is operating in the background. All of that. And so if you run your business for the sake of just you fulfilling your own destiny and purpose, you become an unsafe place for people to say yes to. Why? Because you are hesitating. And you're hesitating because all this stuff is operating behind the surface. You guys hearing me? So here's what my suggestion is to you. First and foremost, I suggest that you get very, very clear about what you want. So you get you out of the way. Get very, very clear about what you want, the non-negotiable of what you want. So for many years, truth be told, I set annual income goals, because without cash, there's no blood flow in a company. Now, blood running through my veins, I need to have blood running through my business, right? And so do you. And so I used to pick income goals that I could see, like I could figure it out. If I had, 23 people pay me, $5,000, I'd make X amount of money, right? And so I would work it out like that. Who's there right now? This is kind of how you work it out, right? This is a great step because you can see it. Then I start to enroll myself on this. I say, is it possible that I could have 23 people that would be willing to pay me $5,000 in a year so I could hit my income goal? And obviously 23 people in a year doesn't seem like a lot, right? Now I put 23 people in a month, now my shit starts to come up. Does that make sense? My stuff, my insecurities, all my lack of courage moments start to come up. You're dealing with it, everybody deals with it. Your customer, your client, everybody. How do I get myself over that? The way you get yourself over that is bonuses. So I want to ask you right now, do you have a bonus that you always offer with your products and service, or one that you want to be inspired to offer over the next couple days, or maybe the rest of this month, right? Your bonuses need to be limited. And if your bonuses are limited, if it's a good bonus, this will be the number one reason why people will buy from you today. Because the way that most people talk about what it is that they do is they talk about their product. And the way people talk about their bonuses is they often talk about the freedom. I don't know why this happens. It happens all the time. I've been coaching and mentoring for a really long time. And if you pay attention to why you threw in a bonus or why you would throw in a bonus, if you're sitting there going, I don't know what my bonus would be, you're too much in your head. Right? I love you enough to be really honest with you, and I'll risk the fact that you may not like me for talking like this. If you could just think, whatever, a lot of times you can figure out what product or service to offer. And if you can't, then just go to someone you love or someone that knows you and say, what do you think my superpower is? Like, what am I really good at? And they'll tell you. And when they tell you, be like, so what? Like, what do you think would, let's brainstorm a great business for myself. Like, I want to start a business. You get what I'm saying? So whether you're in startup mode or you're in go mode, like the worst thing you could ever do is operate in isolation, because that's where the devil loves you, right? And so I share this with you because this has come up twice already today. It's the third time. I know a pastor that cheated on his wife. And I watched when this happened, TD Jakes and Joel Osteen like came to his thread on Instagram and stood next to him. And he very vulnerably said, which I thought was brave, because you know that they either gained or lost people in their congregation. So change the word congregation to your coaching program, your buyer's list, your real estate portfolio, your, doctor's practice. You know what I mean? Like, it's not an easy place to go to stand behind someone if you could lose when it's not your battle. Does that make sense? When we start to realize that your battle is my battle is your battle, we start to look at each other a little different. That's why Hardcore stands for the fact that, listen, guys, I used to be totally into the New Age movement, A Course in Miracles, all that. I did not find peace in it. Found a lot of ups and downs, so I moved to biblical and got into the Word. When I got into the Word, I got a new set of friends around me that were prophets and prophecy makers and just incredible people that poured into me. And then I started seeing miracles on a regular basis. I saw people that went from blind to seeing, people get out of wheelchairs, wild stuff happening. Some of this stuff is all on YouTube with some of the people that I know, like you can see it yourself, right? But are you seeking a miracle, or are you worrying about your current state? Because however it is that you're operating, you are definitely going to get whatever you're paying attention to, right? And the New Age movement has definitely figured out what you pay attention to expands. However, the intention in your heart can't be to get, it needs to be to give. And that's where the biblical context changes the whole story, right? So I share this with you because I'm not into the New Age movement anymore, and I coach people in it all the time. Meaning that I believe in a world that there are many times that I believed I was right and I was not right. And I need to create an ecosystem around me that people feel safe to speak into my life, right? I suggest all of us that are coming together on these lives, that we start creating an atmosphere and an ecosystem, which takes some courage, because you have to give up the need to be right all the time. But I'm telling you, sales is so much about authority. And when you've lost authority with people because they feel condemned by you, and religion does a horrible job at this, right? And the scriptures talk a lot about, your priest is not your power, right? And religion is not, that's not the game. Does that make sense, you guys? It's the word, right? And so I share this with you because obviously I'm into that type of stuff. And when I was into A Course in Miracles, all I talked about was A Course in Miracles. And I'm definitely not in alignment with that anymore. Do you know what I mean? And I'm willing to say that in front of you because I'm willing to say, you know what? Hey, can we still have dinner together? Can we still, because if you think I'm wrong, I want you to speak into my life. I want you to speak into other people's lives. If you see a blind spot, if you see something that's not working, it better not because you better not speak this if you don't know what somebody wants. See, the only time you have a right to speak into somebody's life is you spent enough time figuring out what somebody wants. Because here's what is not welcome. What is not welcome is people going and shoving their opinions down other people's throats. Because listen, if I have no interest in healing my health, I don't want to hear about your vegan movement, your paleo movement, your carnivore movement. I don't need you to critique what I eat, right? And I'm not going to critique your wine because it's not biodynamic, because that's what I like, right? That is not my place, and it's not yours either. And some of you guys are marketing in a way where you're shoving stuff down people's throats, and you're talking about your products. You're not even talking about their feelings, because you ain't connected to their feelings. And the reason why you're not connected to their feelings, it's like, yes, they're struggling in their marriage. Like, where's your emotion? Somebody's struggling with their marriage, you should be like in freaking tears, right? Oh yeah, it's so sad. They got diagnosed with cancer. Are you kidding me? Like, that's somebody's life. Yeah, and we are all guilty of it, are we not? Like, this is not about pointing fingers. It's about, where are our feelings? And we've got to pull them up, right? We've got to pull them up, because you cannot make more money, in my opinion, in an easy way, because money flows easily. It really does. When it becomes a grind is when you're trying to convince somebody, and I hear these words a lot, I'm going to go do this and convince them. I'm like, that's a lot of work, my friends. It's a lot of work, and you better have a massive amount of authority. And if you just met somebody at a conference, an association, on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook, you have no authority. And especially if you have a content problem and you don't put out enough content, then they don't even know who you are. You really have no authority. But yet you're still bitchy and complaining about the fact that content takes too long to do, or I don't know what to say. Well, I'm saying I don't know what to tell you. But if you want sales, you need to know what people want. And you need to be willing to do that work. And I'm being really honest with you. I can tell you, so many of my peers are just like, gosh, people are like, they want all the success in life, but it's like, they really don't want to do the work. And the work, it's not actually, creating a video is not a lot of work. Doing what I'm doing right now is not a lot of work. Do you know what work is? Listening to you complain. And I know you all know that, because listening to other people complain for you feels like work too, right? Yes, but that's their problems. And when you get irritated at listening to what other people are complaining about, what you're doing is you're missing the money. Because you need to be looking for the pattern on what your people are complaining about. You're looking for their blind spot. And you need a blind spot. That didn't work. You need a blind spot. Let me do this. You need a blind spot that your audience can see, but is not being spoken about. Don't worry about this piece, because when you see it, it's going to feel a little risky for you to talk about it. And it's going to feel a little bit like, how do I say this for a second? Well, just be honest. Get to the point and just be honest. If you can get to the point and just be honest. Do you know what my audience likes? Well, you are my audience. How many of you guys want me to send you a big book email? Like lots of copy? Or do you want me to send you something short, to the point? Get to the point. If you want me to get to the point, write the word point in the chat. Right? If you want me to write you a long, you want me to really articulate things, you want me to explain things, and you're okay with a long email, put the word long. If you're okay with a long email, put the word long, right? Or put the word point. So there's a couple people on long, the majority of people want short, or for me to get to the point. How do I know that? Because I've asked that question. Do you know I will get more engagement on a paragraph email than I will ever get on a full email, which requires me to identify your blind spot immediately and speak into it. Let you know that I see it, you'll see it immediately when I say it, and then give you a CTA. What could be the CTA? You guys on Instagram right now, if you're watching, I'm gonna ask you, if this is helping you right now, please write the word thank you, or words. Write the word thank you. If this is helping you right now, write the word thank you. I know you guys can't see the handwriting, sorry. Write the word thank you if this is helping you right now. Okay, so now we see it, right? And so that's a call to action. What's another call to action that I could do? I love trigger words. Oh, you guys are saying thank you too. Thank you. Okay, so I like trigger words. So, well, a CTA could be, this is not available anymore. But, joinhclnow.com. It's like, this is not available anymore. But it was my leadership program that I put on sale that everybody who has an issue with hitting their goals should have taken. Do you know what I mean? Like, you should have taken it. Why didn't you? If you heard me make the offer, something got in the way. I'm going to tell you what gets in the way of your customer, client, and mine. It's a lack of urgency to get to their destination. And that lack of urgency has us not reach out and be a demand for coaching, a demand for an answer, a demand for it now. Because what we do is we watch something go, I kind of got it, but I didn't get it, but you don't reach out to get help. I want to let you know something. You will never step on my toes. I am never too busy to answer your question. I just request that you don't send me a book. I don't want to be in my social media and look at a book. I don't want to read a book. I want just get to the point, right? What do you need? And you know how many times I look at something, somebody sends me 5 voice notes on Instagram, like, please don't do that. It creates like this, I don't want to talk to you. I'm being honest with you. And so why am I sharing this with you? Because today is all about sales. And you guys have a blind spot of over talking things. You have a blind spot of having a lack of urgency, and in many cases, I'll prove it to you. How many guys have had a goal for longer than 90 days that it still has not been reached? Like a frustration. You want to alleviate a frustration. You've had a frustration for 90 days or more. Put 90 in the chat. If you've had a frustration for 90 days or more, put a 90 in the chat. Okay, so you have a goal to solve that frustration. Okay, what did I do right there? I realized my question wasn't a clear call to action, so I changed it. Okay, a confused mind does nothing. Some of you guys are out there, you're selling your products and services. It's confusing by default because there's so many people who do what you do. And like people always say, do you think this market is saturated? Not for someone who can spot a blind spot. Not for someone who can spot a blind spot. This is the challenge with ChatGPT right now, is you're still leading from what you see and you haven't done the work. So I'm going to encourage you today to look at who is somebody in your life that you know that you can help. Who is someone in your life that you know that you can help, that you have either backed off selling. This doesn't have to be a customer or client. This could be a family member. This could be an employee. This could be a contractor. That you guys, do you not think 1 minute that you have to enroll contractors and employees to work with you? You think that these people just come and work with you? I mean, I guess some of them might work for $1, but they're never going to do great work for you unless they're enrolled, because you're a team. God is calling people to a place of destiny right now. And if people are working with you right now, there's a calling for that connection. And the question is do you understand your role is to literally enroll them in a big vision on what you're doing, and it better darn well be bigger than your product. Does anybody know what I'm doing right now? I am moving people from the middle class to the right neighborhoods. That is my whole mission. I want to get you out of the middle class. I want you to stop loving the middle class. I want you to stop saying things like, I'm fine, I'm comfortable, I'm not motivated by money. That's all middle class talking. That is all middle class talking. And it sucks. If you're really honest about the middle class, it sucks. When I say middle class income, I don't mean people. I mean the class of income that we have in the middle class. It sucks. There is never enough. There is always worry. There is always sleepless nights from here or there. There is always a Mack truck that hits you somewhere, and it doesn't wait for 5 years at a time to give you grace and peace in your life. It's hitting you all the time. There's always a Mack truck that hits you in the middle class because there's not enough. And then what happens in the middle class is that it's a mindset, and that mindset is connected with income, which goes back to the fact that if you change your mind, you will change your money. But people are like, but how? Well, you start with not doing the same thing today that you did yesterday. You start with noticing every time you speak death over your life. And what I mean by that is stress. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? And by the way, I'm married. There are some things I believe in my husband doesn't believe in. There's some things my husband believes in that I don't believe in. Does that mean my husband or me are being negative? No. It just means that we are responsible to sell them the dream, which means that we must take responsibility to listen to what are they saying. And when we understand what they're saying, we can sell them the dream. And if your dream does not include the likes and the power of the person that you're doing your life with, why do you think you're a safe bet for your customers or clients? Do you know how many doctors are telling people to do things they don't want to do? Do you know how many coaches are speaking over people and saying, your business is not viable? It's not a good business. You should not do it. Do you know how many people take the authority away from you because you just give it? Because we have become lazy. And I love you enough to say this, and you know if this doesn't apply to you, it's not resonating. But you see it in other people, don't you? See it, like this isn't an untrue movement. It's a freaking movement that we've been sold. And we have chosen to buy. And so I don't know about you, but selling is a very important piece. I have to sell my husband has to sell me. Right? I have to sell you. And by the way, when you buy my Mentor Me Live program or you come in and work, do you know how much effort it is to sell you to show up to do what you paid for? I mean, it's a full-time job to be in relationship with you. But you know what? I would take that role any day over the days I sat in Starbucks. And I wished and I hoped that I just had the courage to go make an offer. When I sat around going, I mean, where do I find someone? Where do I find a customer? Where do I find a client? Which now comes back to why I teach list building a lot. Do you know I could do with never teaching another list power group again? It's not my passion. It's not my holy grail work. It's not the best work I do. It's not what makes me feel like, oh my gosh, I got something to write. It's not like the book behind my legacy, but you are. And what you do when you have people that are buyers in your ecosystem and the courage that you have to go through to get your hustle up again. I'm so tired of people out there telling you that it doesn't take hustle. You know when they say that? When they're already at 8 figures. I'm thinking about somebody I love. She is one of the nicest people ever, and she tells everybody to not hustle. I'm like, yeah, easy to say. You're already at 8 figures, sweetheart. You're already at 8 figures. And you got your farmhouse and your family and your babies, and you just got in great shape. It's like, you guys, you get what I'm saying? And is it her fault? No, she's walking her truth out right now. Right? And Chalene Johnson, I think she's one of the best leaders out there. I think she's amazing. She tells the truth all the time. I love it, or at least I feel like she tells the truth all the time. I'm not super close to her, but you know, I can reach out to her. I've reached out to her. She's a great woman, right? We kind of collaborated on the fact that our brain scans looked very different. She's such a cool woman. And Chalene Johnson is in a season in her life where she's bought and sold businesses. And she's speaking from a different wisdom point, right? But if you've got nothing in the kitty, you've got nothing for retirement, you don't have any sort of passive income, then you need to get out there and hustle. You need to understand, who am I listening to at what stage and season of my life? Because if you're kicking back and you got no passive income, you're on the wrong runway. You're on the wrong runway. You need to get out there. You need to find your people. You need to have a message that's so bold that people hate you and love you. You need to stop saying, I've heard this before and I know it. And you need to start claiming your life and say, you know what? I am going to have a legacy. I'm going to have passive income. I'm going to know how to generate cash injections in my life. I'm going to know how to listen to everyone in my life. And instead of being a victim that my spouse, my friend, or my clients have no money, I have tons of clients who have no money. Some of my best success stories were the ones that were on food stamps and still had the courage to hire me. Right? Like some of you guys have a 401 effing K. And you won't invest in me or Shalene or Dean or Tony or somebody that you know you need to work with. But you're so scared to invest again. And I'm telling you, it's not going to work out that way. It's not going to work out that way. You are not going to get there fast enough by saving money. You have to learn how to generate it. Do you know how much energy it takes to live in the middle class and have a saving mentality? It is so much harder to save than it is to create. Where are you putting your education? Are you operating on just saving, or are you saying, I'm going to learn a cash injection in the next 30 days. And if you don't learn it in 30 days, I'm going to learn it in 60 days. You must get responsible for what you need. Are you guys hearing me? No coach owns your destiny. You don't get to blame the coaching industry for you or anybody you've worked with for your lack of results. I'm telling you, listen to me. This could be the day that everything changes. I want you to ask yourself, what do you need? Do you need a cash injection? Put cash if you need a cash injection. Okay, put the word cash, right? So what would I do? What would Shanda do in that moment? It would be my monthly goal to learn it. It would be my monthly goal to learn it. I certainly would not get up and not have a reminder on the wall. I would have cash injection written on the wall, and I'd have a target. What is it? 2,000, 5,000, 20,000, 50,000, 60,000? What is it? How big can you believe? Right? I don't think you should go for, what is that saying? Like reach for the stars, you'll hit the moon, or whatever it is. I'm sure I botched that up. I botch a lot of things up like that. But I just have never subscribed to any of it. So it's like, I don't believe in setting such huge goals if you've never hit your small ones. I believe in literally, and this is just because this is how I've done it. I don't say this is the only way, it's not the right way, but what I'm trying to impart to you is you need to find your way. And what I did was I set goals that were big, that made me feel amazing. I sold myself the feeling of what it was feel like. I say, what do I need to know to be able to do that? Cash injection was something I needed to learn because my reason why was I needed to feel safe, that I could generate cash. And so what I did was I literally spent 30, 60, or 90, however long it took me. And I never did anything else until I hit that cash injection. Once I learned how to do the cash injection, I did a couple more times, and then I knew the cash injection. If you guys are meant to be live and you've not gone and studied cash injection with a client or cash injection without a client, you're making a mistake, right? If you don't have an email list and you're not in my list building program, you should have bought it, but I gave it to you guys today, right? I gave it to you guys today. You guys on Instagram are welcome to send me a message. I can't believe I'm doing this right now. I have a link only for past clients. It's only for past clients. And that link is yourguestspot.com. Yourguestspot.com. That is my gift to you. They're doing the workshop right now. You should go to yourguestspot.com and literally get your tushy in there right now. You're gonna spend 3 days. And in those 3 days, they will teach you how to build lists. I'll be there the next 2 days. Jessica's training right now. Why would I do something like that? Because some of you guys need a freaking break. But let me tell you, signing up for something like that and not going is a freaking mistake. You need to start running your daily life. What do you need? And when you start operating like that and having enough empathy to prioritize yourself, you're going to have the empathy to prioritize your customers and clients. You do not sell a product, my friends. you sell a feeling. And when somebody understands that you get where they are emotionally, they will buy from you. I'm going to repeat that, and this is a great write down. Some of you guys over the next 30 days, you need to master listening. And it should just be your whole thing. What does that look like? It looks like, Natasha, what I heard you just say is this. Am I accurate on that? Are my filters clear? Because all I'm trying to do is figure out, am I even hearing right? Right? Am I even hearing right? My customers, my clients, my husband, my mom, like my friends, am I even hearing right? Like that, if I don't know if that's optimal, then my whole sales process falls apart. Does that make sense, y'all? And so that would be a great thing to do. So once somebody knows that you can see their emotional state, they believe that you understand them, which you do. You understand where they are in that present moment. That gives you instant authority. It is impossible. I mean, there are laydowns, people who know they need your whatever product service that buy, but it's very rare. The majority of people who buy from you, where wealth is created, is in empathy. And when people know that you understand their feelings and their emotional state, and you articulate them, which takes no time at all, then they will know that they can trust you, because most of the world isn't listening, but you are. When you can do that, you make a call to action and you tell them why you're making an offer for them to purchase whatever it is that you want them to purchase. Now you have sales volume. It really is that simple, you guys. And whenever I have a product, service, or whatever that is not selling, I just stop and I go, where am I disconnected? Where am I disconnected in my communication? Am I communicating frequently enough? Am I letting people hear my voice? Am I selling, or am I really talking about what I'm seeing as their feelings and empathy? And if I speak about what I'm seeing, just by default, what I'm seeing is going to be more on the majority than the minority. I'm going to leave it at this. I'm going to send you guys off for a great rest of the week. You guys on Zoom with me. I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to shut off social. But I go on Flex Week next week, so it will be dark. I will not be streaming. I know social media, I should stream 2 times a day. But guess what? I've just found I can't take my followers to the bank. And I can't make up my time with my kids. And I cannot make up the fact that I feel bad if I don't go play pickleball, or I live in a country club and I don't actually get out of my house. Like, you want to have a great life, I'm telling you, you got to prioritize it. So I will not be here next week, and I will be in the List Power Workshop with whoever jumped into the List Power Workshop. There's hundreds of people over there right now, and I'm going to lead them on a money day tomorrow, and I'm going to lead them on a strategy 2024 the next day. I'm going to take next week off, and then I'll see you in March. Are we good with that? You guys can binge watch our material online. We're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, Heartcore Business Facebook page, Instagram. We don't do as much streaming on Instagram, but my point is that there is so much content out there. It's real content. It really will move the dial for you. And if you ever at any point in time feel like you want to coach with us or be with us, you could always take a moment right now, put the word coach in the chat. If you have any interest in working with us on something, you can put the word coach in the chat, and then somebody, either myself or somebody on our team, will reach out to you and talk to you about what's your business, what's your goals, and we can see if we can help you get there. I'm sure if we can't help you, I would be definitely willing to bet that I will know somebody who can help solve your problem. I am going to challenge you and see, is it the thing you need? Are you working on the thing you need? Okay, so put the word coach in the chat if you have an interest in coaching with us or talking to us about business strategy. Happy to help. And truly, I know the best of the best, and I know who they are behind closed doors if they're a good fit for you. So sending you so much love. I'll see you guys in March. God bless. Can you turn off the social, Keith? Talk to you later.